We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
As you know, an initial ransom note from a purported kidnapper or kidnappers demanded millions in Bitcoin for Nancy Guthrie's return and laid out two deadlines, one of which passed at 5 p.m. on Friday. The other deadline, the FBI said, comes on Monday. Now, yesterday, investigators said they were reviewing a new message in the case. That one, like the first, was received by a news station here in Tucson, which said it contained this second message: no proof of life and no deadlines. Investigators returned to the Nancy Guthrie home late yesterday. Among other things, they towed away an SUV, a blue Subaru, as far as we could see. That has now been brought here to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Drone video also showed deputies and agents searching the property once again using flashlights as part of that search. Now, I want to bring in now Fox News contributor Ted Williams, former D.C. police detective and defense attorney. Ted, great to have you here on set with us at the Sheriff's office. First of all, the news tonight, that gut-wrenching video we've seen. What did you make of it, Ted?
You know, Jonathan, it was shocking. I really was not able to comprehend it. You could look at this video in several different ways. It certainly, one thing we know about Savannah, she's a media personality. She knows how to speak plain, clear language. And I didn't see that there. And there were several things I must say to you, Jonathan, that stood out to me. One, this is the only way we can have peace. This. And then to say, this is a very valuable to us and we will pay. You don't talk about your mom in that way if your mom is still here. This is very valuable. You would say something like, we love our mom. Our mom is very valuable to us and we will pay. And you would make those kinds of arrangements, and so I'm deeply, deeply disturbed and concerned.
It was, as you watched that video, and when we first watched it, when it popped up, we're all trying to pass the language, and I think we have to leave it to our viewers to. Everybody can look at that. Everybody can make of it what they will, but the pain was writ large on Savannah's face. I noticed Annie seemed to be struggling to hold herself together, sobbing. Cameron, the brother, stoic as we have seen. What about the approach, though? The direct appeal, we will pay. Smart move?
Well, it's a smart move if, in fact, you're saying, hey, look, you have my mom, and I'm sorry she's dead, but we want her back. I believe that there was some communication and some contact from the possible abductors, and if she's no longer here, they made some kind of an excuse as to what took place. And this is the reason that I believe Savannah says, we understand. She's trying to let them establish a rapport, but more than anything else, she wants her mother back alive, but if not alive, she wants her mother's body.
Now, in these situations, will the FBI, in your view, have been a part of crafting the language of all of these video messages that they put on Instagram, the family?
Jonathan, absolutely. I believe that family has worked part and parcel with the FBI, law enforcement per se, and that law enforcement was certainly part and parcel of the making out and these various messages and drafting them up.
So where do we go from here, Ted? I mean, this is an investigation which has not run as smoothly as it could have done out of the county sheriff's office. It struck me that over the last few days, while jurisdictionally, obviously, the Pima County Sheriff's Department is still the lead agency, the FBI clearly taking a much stronger control of what is happening in terms of the investigation. You see that continuing going forward?
And I see it very, very much continuing. I think after that second note is when the FBI took over, came in, took the blue vehicle from Nancy's home, went up on that roof, found some information, and took that. I think the FBI is clearly involved, and the big question is, where do we go from here? The ball may very well be in the court of the abductors, and they're waiting for some kind of a response and communication.
Right. Stick with us for a moment, Ted. I want to bring in Joe Cardinale, retired NYPD lieutenant, who is also with us. Joe, again, let's get to the big news of the night, this Instagram video. What do you make of that, Joe?
I have to agree with Ted to a large degree, because the language that they're using is not that of somebody that would say, please don't hurt her, please don't do this, please don't do that. It's apparently they're in control, they know it, and at this stage of the game they have to play by the rules that are being set by whoever these persons are. So the investigation is going on from so many different aspects right now. They're still pinging the towers. They're still going back to that day. It's a desolate area, so they're not that desolate, but it's just not as congested as you would have in New York City. So it'll be a little easier to get the pings, on their phones. But the message that's being sent tonight is a clear one. They want their mother back. That's the bottom line. They are a religious family. You know that from the prior, talks about this and everything. They expected her at church. Savannah's, big into her faith, and this plays into it big time. They want their mother back, and I'm not going to be the one to say under any conditions, but it's getting pretty dire as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and Joe, I just want to point out to our viewers, as we look at you screen right there, and now look at me, on the left of the screen, that is live pictures from one of our drone cameras. Two sheriff's vehicles, as we understand it, have just shown up at Nancy Guthrie's house. We don't know what their purpose is. It may once again be simply a traffic control kind of measure there. We don't know if any sheriff's deputies are heading back onto the property, and if they are going to be joined by any FBI agents at this point. But Joe, talking of the sheriff's department here, how do you see the investigation having played out so far? Obviously, as the sheriff here, Chris Nones, has admitted himself, he is open to some Monday morning quarterbacking. Do you think he's done everything to the best ability here, or do you see the real need for the FBI to take control of all of this?
Oh, there's a clear path for the FBI to take this. I mean, this isn't a large department. I'm sure they've never seen anything like this before or handled anything like this before. The FBI has, in New York City we have, and we have the resources for this. Personally, I would have had that crime scene secured from day one and not let anybody in there, not to press anybody to get those photos of, the blood stains or anything. And that's for a reason. You have to maintain the integrity of that crime scene. Ted can tell you that. We've done it a million times. And it's not that you can't go back. You go back, but you have it under conditions that are controlled, where nobody else could have gone inside, done anything. And then you have a roster of who came, what time, what they did, and what was retrieved. And the FBI can lay that out very clearly. Department that doesn't have the capacity to do that. They also have the state police that could come in. But, that area should have been secured. And, like I said, it's not Monday morning quarterbacking. It's dealing with a department that's never had anything of this on this scale.
Right, and Ted, that is a fair point, isn't it? This is we all come into Tucson. It's a huge case, national, international attention, and it's going to take sometimes, to be fair, a sheriff's department of this size to get up to speed with something with that kind of spotlight on it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And let me just say, my friend Joe is absolutely 100% right. The first thing you do is the preservation of the crime scene. And you do not allow that crime scene to be contaminated. And in this instance, it has been contaminated as far as I'm concerned. But this sheriff department, I think, is out and was trying to do the right thing. But I think it's significant and important for the Federal Bureau of Investigation to come in, as we believe they have, and taken over this investigation.
Joe, the sheriff has been emotional at times when talking about this case. He was on NBC. Obviously, Savannah Guthrie works for NBC yesterday morning, and he seemed to choke up when he was asked, do you believe that Nancy Guthrie is still alive? And he talked about having to have the hope that she is. Joe, as somebody who's seen so much crime, investigated so much crime, these are still humans, these sheriff's deputies, the sheriff himself, and you can't entirely put your emotions to one side, can you, in these situations?
On the human side of everybody that's affected by this, the sheriff as well. And let's not forget, this is a smaller community, and these departments know the residents very well. They check on them. It's not large like New York City or in Washington, D.C., where you don't get to know everybody. I mean, I've dealt with so many small towns, and you'd be surprised at how they operate, and it's in a compassionate way, too. They check on the elderly. They have, little signs. One department said, if this Mrs. So-and-so doesn't have her shades up in the morning, I know to go over and check on them. So this is, very hard for a department like this to go through this when you may personally know this individual, and it's very overwhelming at times, but you still work through that. I'm not saying this department, with the resources that they have, the FBI, I'm sure the FBI, I know the FBI sat back and said, Sheriff, handle the press on this. We'll handle this aspect of it. Please do this, please do that. And that's exactly what was going on and what's still going on. Everybody's on board. They want to get the same job done. They want justice served.
All right, Joe, Ted, stand by. I want to just remind our viewers of why we are on air live tonight from the Pima County Sheriff's Office. We are here because we got a major development in the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie. That development, a heart-wrenching video